What is up, guys? So this morning I made a video about Yannick Ngakoue, so obviously that happened. If you guys want to watch it, just go back on my channel to see that. But some more news came out, probably some more positive news to most Jaguar fans, and it is that there's a rumor that the Jaguars will be looking to trade Nick Foles. Obviously, in the 2019 offseason, we signed Nick Foles to a pretty ridiculous contract. Signing him when he had his hot hand after, a couple years ago coming off a Super Bowl victory where he was MVP of the Super Bowl, and even finishing off the 2019 regular season pretty strong for the Eagles. So they signed him to a pretty ridiculous deal. I forget the numbers right now, but it was a mega contract. But now the Jaguars, just a few months later, 12 months later, I guess, are now going to look to trade him. And a lot of Jaguar fans are going to be happy about this, because I remember Big Cat Country came out with a poll not too long ago, basically saying, surveying the fans, who would you rather have start week 1 of 2020, Gardner Minshew or Nick Foles? And over 90% of the people said Gardner Minshew. Obviously, he's a fan favorite. He was I think 4-4, either 4-4 or 5-5 as a starter no, I think it was actually 6-6 as a starter. I mean, not bad for a team that finished 6-10. But I mean, he was good. He was really probably the biggest bright spot of the Jaguars in 2019, because obviously you had the Jalen Ramsey thing go on. You had the worst 5 or 6 game stretch in the last 30 years, where we were just getting blown out by divisional opponents, then getting blown out by a bad Buccaneers team and a bad Chargers team. And I mean, through all that, the Gardner Minshew was a real bright spot. He almost takes on he's almost like a hero of Jacksonville. So it's pretty cool. But now, who's going to be interested in Nick Foles? Because right now it is a very, very big quarterback. It's a wealthy bunch of quarterbacks out there when it comes to free agents coming up this offseason. To go through the list of quarterbacks that are pending free agents include Tom Brady, Drew Brees, Teddy Bridgewater, Case Keenum, Marcus Mariota, Josh McCown, Dak Prescott, Phillip Rivers, Ryan Tannehill, Jameis Winston, and you can also mention guys like Cam Newton that might be available for trade, or even Andy Dalton, because the Bengals are most likely going to get somebody with #1 overall pick. So it's a pretty deep class of free agent quarterbacks. I thought last year's was pretty big. I mean, this year is the biggest I've ever seen. So, I mean, I look at it who the hell is going to really want to trade for Nick Foles? I mean, if you look at some teams out there that are going to need quarterbacks, whether they need quarterbacks right away or whether they need to go ahead and re-sign their own guys, include teams like the Chargers, Raiders, Bengals, Steelers might be looking to, draft a guy. Colts, Titans, Bears, Cowboys, Giants, Buccaneers, Saints. Now, I included some teams on there like the Titans, Cowboys, Saints. All those guys are probably going to re-sign, their guys that are set to become free agents. But, as of right now, they need quarterbacks. So, those are just some of the teams that might be potential suitors. I guess the most obvious might be, the Colts. I mean, the Colts have been linked to Phillip Rivers a lot, but the thing is, Phillip Rivers has been linked to the Colts, but the head coach Frank Reich was the offensive coordinator of the Eagles when Nick Foles led him to a Super Bowl, so obviously there's history there. You also look at the Bears. The quarterback's coach of the Bears is John DeFilippo, and he was a big reason why Nick Foles came to Jacksonville. And he might have been a big reason why he just kind of left the Jaguars. Maybe the Jaguars wanted to go with Gardner. He wanted to stay with Nick Foles. So maybe there might be a connection there. But, I mean, all in all, the Jaguars, if they want to get rid of Nick Foles, I mean, if they want to trade him, they're going to have to give up draft capital. Honestly, at this point, if we're not going to be re-signing Yannick Ngakoue, I love draft picks. I do not like trading draft picks, just because if you're a good functioning team, you're hitting on your draft picks and you're becoming good through that, and you're not going out and signing a gross bunch of money to guys from other teams to come in here and play at not a high level. So at this point, we're not going to be re-signing Yannick Ngakoue. I'd rather not blow a bunch of money on stupid ass free agents like we've been doing in the past. And, you know, I guess I would just keep Nick Foles on the roster, and we'll see what happens. You know, I feel like, unfortunately, this channel has become me, has just become me bitching a lot. And it's not what I want to do. It's not what I want this channel to become. Like, it's really not. But, you know, you guys know how it is being a Jaguar fan. I mean, it's frustrating, some of the things that we do. You know, when it comes to just all these double-digit losing seasons, all the good guys that we draft don't want to have anything to do with this franchise. I mean, at one point I thought we had a pretty decent culture, but I think Tom Coughlin just killed our culture, and it's going to take some rebuilding. I wanted the rebuild to happen through a whole entire clean sweep of the front office with head coach, general manager, and all that, but obviously that didn't happen, so we got to work with what we got. But, you know, Doug Marone's a good guy. I don't know about Dave Caldwell. You know, he's not as open as Doug Marrone, but players like Doug Marrone, and I think he had to do a lot of damage control with Tom Coughlin. So, I mean, we'll see, guys. I'm not super optimistic, but, you know, the thing about it, guys, is that I hate that I love this team so much. You guys all know what I'm saying there. I hate how much I love this team, and the team really controls my emotions. I'm an emotional guy, especially with this YouTube channel. You know, I mean, you guys see how I react to different things, but yeah. So that's kind of my thoughts. We'll see what we do with Nick Foles, but I'll be honest with you, I think he's on the roster. I think he's going to be the most expensive backup the NFL's ever seen, if I'm going to be making a prediction. But all right, guys, let me know in the comments what you guys think. Thank you guys for sticking with the channel and keeping the channel alive. Go Jags, and I'll see you guys in my next vid.